guys, we're back, and clearly so are you, unless of course you're new here, in which case, welcome. While you're here, why don't you go ahead and become part of the Girly Squad so you can hang out with me every single week. All you have to do is subscribe. It's super easy. Plus, you'll be glad you did because we're friendly, so we're pretty sure you're gonna like us. And as an added incentive, we're actually thinking about doing a giveaway soon because it's been a long time since we've done one on this channel, and you know, it's high time for another one. So let's go ahead and set a goal. Once the Girly Squad hits 5,000 subscribers, we're gonna have a giveaway. So go ahead and start leaving comments below with ideas for giveaway items, and then subscribe and tell all your friends. Anyway, back to the business at hand. Today's video is long overdue because I'm finally going to be talking about e.l.f.'s new-ish brushes. These right here. It's kind of hard to call these new because I've had mine for a few months now, but since e.l.f. hasn't released a newer line yet, these are technically still their latest brushes. So we're gonna go with that. Interested? Then don't go anywhere. Alright, so as you might recall, I hauled these several months ago, and back then I promised that I was going to do a review and I hadn't gotten around to it just yet, so I'm really sorry about that. Nevertheless, a promise is a promise, so we are still going to talk about these. So how about a thumbs up for follow through? Better late than never. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the Ultimate Blending Brush, the Selfie Ready Foundation Brush, the Selfie Ready Powder Brush, and the Sculpting Face Brush. I've already talked about the Beautifully Bare Blending Brush, so I'm going to link that video right up here so I don't have to repeat myself, you know, for the benefit of those who already saw what I had to say. Each one of these brushes retails for $6. They're made with soft synthetic hairs that you can use with powder, liquid, or creams, and they're cruelty-free. You can get all of these directly from the e.l.f. website, or some of them are available at your local Target. The Ultimate Blending Brush is a large dome-shaped brush that's densely packed with lots of bristles. It's supposed to help you pick up the right amount of product and blend it seamlessly for even coverage. If you recall, I bought a lot of these brushes because the design reminded me of my IT Cosmetics brushes, and I wanted to see if these were in fact a $6 drugstore dupe. Well guys, the verdict is in, and at least for the Ultimate Blending Brush, the answer is yes. I compared the Ultimate Blending Brush to the IT Cosmetics brushes in my collection, and I found that it's most similar to two of the brushes that I have. The first one is my IT Cosmetics for Ulta brush, and this is the 101 Airbrush Foundation Brush. And then the other one that it's really similar to is my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe All Over Complexion Perfection brush. I reach for my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush constantly so that I can apply and blend my Sephora Micro Smooth Foundation Powder. It works just as well as my IT brushes, which is why I love it so much. So the main difference between the Ultimate Blending Brush and my IT Cosmetics brushes, you know, besides the price, is that the Ultimate Blending Brush has a little bit of a bigger circumference. So there's a little bit more surface area as compared to these two brushes, but the shape is pretty much exactly the same. Another difference is that my 101 brush is a little bit more densely packed, so the bristles actually have a little bit less give when you run your finger over them, or even when you're just kind of blending on your face. I also feel that because of that, liquid foundation kind of stays on top of the brush a little bit better, and it just helps blend it out just slightly better. Not anything major, and I'm sitting here nitpicking just so that you can kind of know the differences. So that's basically the main difference I noticed between these two. The density of the bristles on the Ultimate Blending Brush are actually a little bit more similar to the density of the bristles in my All Over Heavenly Luxe face brush. Other than that, when you kind of hold these side by side, the e.l.f. brush just feels a little bit more lighter weight. These just feel a little bit sturdier. Another thing you might notice while comparing them is that the bristles for the IT Cosmetics brushes are just slightly softer. The difference isn't significant, but you will just notice that the IT Cosmetics brushes just feel a little bit more luxuriously soft. Now, for the price difference, that's something that I would expect. That being said, I think those differences are pretty minor when you consider the fact that you're getting pretty much the exact same performance for only $6. Alright, so the next brush we're going to talk about is the Selfie Ready Powder Brush. This brush is a medium-sized dome-shaped brush that again has very densely packed bristles. The dome-shaped is meant to maneuver around the contours of the face easily. and it's ideally meant to create a soft veil of coverage with loose powders or more buildable, fuller coverage with pressed powders. And you can still totally use it with cream or liquid products. This brush is nearly identical to my It for Ulta 102 Smoothing Foundation Brush. It's also pretty much identical to the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It basically has the same kind of domed shape as the It Cosmetics brush, and the only difference this time is that the e.l.f. brush is actually a little bit more densely packed than the It brush in this case, and has a little bit less give. And again, I also feel that the bristles on the It brush just feel slightly more luxurious, and the weight of the brush just feels a little sturdier. Compared to the Real Techniques brush, the It brush is just slightly wider, although not by much, but the density and the feel of the bristles is pretty much identical. The dome shape of this brush that's just slightly flatter on the top edges is really great for applying and blending your contour. The shape just fits really well along the hollows of my cheeks, and because it's so densely packed, it just blends everything so easily. The Selfie Ready foundation brush is pretty much the same medium size as the Selfie Ready powder brush, except that the Selfie Ready foundation brush has a tapered dome shape. So as far as I know, this one isn't a dupe for anything that I can think of. But even though it's not a dupe, it still works just as well as the last two brushes I was telling you about. Interestingly, this one is named a foundation brush, but I actually never really use it for foundation. I really love the tapered shape for applying blush. The slightly pointed taper really allows me to pick up product and then concentrate it on a specific space, like the apples of my cheek, and then sort of work it up to my cheekbones while simultaneously blending. Finally, we have the Sculpting Face Brush. Now, I bought this one because it looked like it might be a dupe for the Estee Lauder Sculpting Foundation Brush. Now, I don't own the Estee Lauder brush, but I can tell you from seeing it in the stores that this is a dupe for it. The curved and contoured shape of this brush is supposed to hug the face and blend product, contour cheekbones, and define the nose. I tried to use the Sculpting Face Brush to apply foundation like you would with the Estee Lauder brush, and I have to say, I'm not really a fan. It totally hugs the contours of your face when you're applying your foundation, but I didn't feel like it blended my foundation out as nicely as I'd hoped. There's still some streakiness left behind when I use this, so then I end up reaching for another brush or a makeup sponge in order to finish blending my foundation out. I also tried to test this out as a contour brush. The shape is really great for getting into the contours of your cheeks, but then it's kind of awkward when you try to blend it out. Maybe I was expecting a little bit too much from this brush, but the reviews I'd seen of the Estee Lauder brush and some of the reviews I've seen of this brush online made me think like it was going to be a life-changing brush, and it wasn't. Okay, so overall, I think that these three brushes are excellent and they rival their higher-end counterparts. So I definitely recommend, if you happen to be perusing the e.l.f. website, that you pick these up or any other ones that are in the same type of style. Is anyone planning to try these out now that we've confirmed that they're good? Tell me, was this review helpful? Because if it was, you should totally give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, because sharing is caring. Thanks again for joining me this week. I hope you'll be back to hang out with me again next week for a brand new video. But until then, have fun, take care, and be the best you can be. Alright guys, bye!